Hey guys, I'm so happy to see y'all again today. Today is going to be a little bit different from normal. I'm not going to talk about anything homeschool. Well, I mean, I may throw something in there here and there, but today what I really wanted to do was show you guys some of my flowers that I have planted around my house. I am an avid gardener. I'm a rookie gardener, but an avid one. And I love plants. I love flowers. I love anything that I can put in the dirt and watch it grow. I love it. So I'm going to take you guys around my house and show you guys some of the plants that I have around my house. And I'll try to explain some of my plans for my yard. Now, I will say this. We have been here for 5 years now, but we haven't done any work at all on the yards as far as like putting out grass seed or, you know, using weed and feed or anything like that. So please don't judge my yard. Or if you see a mess somewhere, you know, just ignore it. You know, we live here, we have kids, so it's going to be messy. But anyway, I want to show you guys around and just sit back and get you a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or some water, something to drink, get hydrated, and relax and enjoy the video. Okay, we're going to start with Henry. This is my, my Norfolk pine. I got this from Tractor Supply at Christmas time, and it was, quit Molly. Sorry, I know the camera just bounced. It was my dog. She's trying to lick my phone. I got this tree from Tractor Supply around Christmas time. It was maybe about 3 or 4 inches shorter than it was when I first got it. It sits right here in the window in our classroom, and I thought that it was, you know, something like obviously for Christmas, for wintertime, but I actually read up on it, and it is actually a tropical plant that grows in tropical regions. So anyway, I water it once a week, and I turn the pot around a little bit every now and again so it gets sun on all sides. Just gonna come around and give you a little view, but you can see all the new growth it's got on it. It's doing really well. He likes this little corner, so I leave him here and I don't mess with him. I haven't fertilized it. All I did was repot it, and yeah, he's just really happy right here. So that's Henry. That's our class plant. And this is our class pet, Molly. Molly, why are you worried about the birds? Huh? Why are you worried about the birds? You see them outside the window? Yeah? This is my doggy, Molly. I know we were doing gardening shots, but we're looking at birds out here too. We've got a pretty little red bird on the bird figure, and then the female red bird on the ground. But anyway, all right, let's get busy and let's see what else we can find around this yard. Okay, now this is out on my back patio, and it is kind of messy back here, and you can see some of the trim needs to be repainted, and the dog has torn up the door and all the things. But anyway, this is my ivy. A friend of mine she just gave me a little cutting off of it. Like, she just snipped a piece, stuck it in a cup with some soil, and it grew. We put it in this pot. I need to replace this pot. I need to get a bigger pot for it, but oh, that's my cat, Chloe. She's our other class pet. She doesn't hang around us too much. She gets kind of nervous around all the kids and how loud they get, so she stays outside a lot during the day, during class time, and then she comes in the afternoon. But anyway, that's my ivy. I've always wanted ivy because my grandmama always had ivy growing, like like she had like a brick wall that was right next to her front door, and she always had ivy growing there. So I've always wanted some just because of my grandmama. So I finally got some, and I know that this does not look very happy. It's not. Molly just pulled it up out of the dirt the other day, but this is a black rabbit foot fern, and it's called a black rabbit foot fern because these little where the fronds come out of, you can see there's a little baby frond trying to come out, but they feel like rabbit feet, and they're soft. They're very soft. But this is where the fronds come from. It's the little corms right there. So anyway, I'm trying my hardest to revive it, but Molly won't leave it alone. Every time she walks by it, she has to pick it up and try to run off with it. So she just keeps trying to kill it. So anyway, this is one of my palms. My mom got me these. I have one here and one right there. So one on each side of my patio door. And my little Molly looking at me in the door. Poor baby. And then this right here is something a friend gave to me the other day. I can't remember what she said the name of it was. But when it's in the sun, it's this color. And when you leave it in the shade, it turns like this ultraviolet blue. I don't know if you can see that, if it'll focus. But it turns this really pretty ultraviolet blue color. And this will just spread out and fill out this whole pot. So I have that. And over here on my windowsill, the same lady that gave me that gave me this. This is called a peanut cactus. I haven't repotted it yet. I still have it in the pot that she sent it home with me, and I'm scared to touch it because it's blooming right now. It's blooming here, and it's got a little baby bloom right here and another little baby bloom right there, and I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to hurt it. So anyway, we've got that. So let's walk over and see some of the plants in the yard. Okay, this is some marigolds that I planted from seed in these pots. I planted them because they repel mosquitoes and bugs. And this is marigolds and creeping jenny. I love creeping jenny. That's one of my absolute favorite flowers. You can't hardly kill it down here where I live in this warmer climate. More marigolds. And then these up here are called lemon button ferns. I got two of these, one here, and I got another one hanging over there. And I did not realize it when I bought it, but that pot is gray and that pot is white. And it kind of drives me crazy, but you know, it is what it is. It's fine. So anyway, so let's come on over here. And these are my hydrangeas. I got these two guys from Tractor Supply. This one is blooming out. Some of the blooms are blue and some of them are green and yellow, and hey, it is what it is, you know. You never know what you're going to get with a hydrangea. It all depends on the acidity of your soil as to what color your blooms will be. And this one over here is just pretty as it can be, blue and pink, or a purpley color, I guess you'd call that, lilac maybe. But anyway, they're almost triple the size now that they were when I first got them, and I only got them like maybe 2, 3, maybe just 2 months ago. So anyway, come over here, and this is one of my favorite things in my yard. This is my shrimp tree. My daddy got me this shrimp tree from a local nursery. The first time I saw a shrimp tree was at the zoo, the Jacksonville Zoo. We were there visiting for the day, and they had a fully mature shrimp tree. And you can also grow them as a bush, but see how they have the nursery tied it to a stake, and I just keep the leaves and stuff pulled off the stems down here, and it turns it into a tree. But anyway, they call it a shrimp tree, obviously, because the blooms look like little shrimp. So anyway, it's very happy in this spot. It's blooming like crazy right now. Just a few days ago, all these little blooms right here, it didn't have these, but hummingbirds love these. They love these shrimp plants. And this is a little baby shrimp plant that was in the pot with the big one when I first got it. And I tried to propagate it. I don't know if it's working. I'm trying to leave it alone, just keep it watered, keep it next to its mama plant, maybe that'll make it happy. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, and when we move on down the line, we've got, this is a miniature dwarf tea rose. This one is yellow. I just deadheaded the blooms off of it just a couple days ago, so I'm waiting on new growth and new blooms. Maybe it'll be happy right here. I'm really, really hoping, because I love roses, especially yellow roses. And this one I just planted today, guys. This is called an Indian shot. You can see I've got my little metal plant tag in the ground. I actually got these little metal tags. I got them off Amazon, and the reason why I have them is because sometimes my son, when he is mowing grass, he you know, just kind of mows over whatever is in the way. And also sometimes people come over and they want to know, ooh, what plant is that? And sometimes I forget. So I like to have a little label by it. And also, if it's something that dies all the way back in the wintertime, which I don't think this does. I don't have a whole lot of experience with this one. But if it's something that dies all the way back in the wintertime, I'd like to have a label where I planted it, So in the spring, I don't replant something in its spot or try to plant something in its spot before it has a chance to come back up in the springtime. So, you know, because I'm one of those, I get excited and I start planting in like March. Anyway, this is called an Indian shot lily, Indian shot plant, and it is supposed to put out these bright red blooms. Now, I just got this today, and I'll tell you where I got it from. My compost pile. Yep, found it in my compost pile. I was taking something out there, and I saw it, and I was like, that's really weird. I've never seen one of those before. And, you know, I don't remember throwing anything that looked like that out on the compost pile, and so I did my little plant ID app on it, and it said it was an Indian shot plant, so I thought that'd be something cool to have in the yard. Now, I know because it's of the lily family, it will spread and it might get a little invasive, so I'll have to make sure I keep it good and thinned out. But, you know, I just thought it would be something that would fill up this little area back here. So, anyway, we come around, and this is in the corner of our fence. This is called guara. Now, I'm not exactly certain of the type of guara it is. The lady that gave it to me, she just said it was called guara. And it has started blooming since I planted it. When I brought it home last week, it didn't have any blooms on it, and now it's got blooms. So I'm assuming it's happy in this spot and it's getting enough water and enough sunlight. So I'm really pleased with it. I've never had something that looked like this before. So I thought, and it'll get really big. It'll bush out like, you know, a couple feet. So, and it'll spread itself, and it's a perennial. It comes back every year. So it'll fill up this little corner area for me. And then we come around to this other corner that we've got back here. And I have another tea rose. This is a red tea rose. I'm worried about where I place this because it doesn't get quite as much sunlight as I think it needs. But so far it's been here a week and I already see new growth. So hopefully it's happy here where it's at. And as these blooms start to die, I'll deadhead those. But it seems to be doing okay here. It seems to be doing all right. The dog hasn't messed with it any. I know, Chloe, I know. If y'all see my camera shaking, it's because Chloe keeps hitting it. Sorry about that. So anyway, let me back up and I'll show you my whole backyard and I'll show you my plans. Okay, so this is the start of the yard. That's, you know, my shrimp tree that I just showed you. This is our gate where we come in. Like, this is my back corner where my hydrangeas are. That's my bathroom right there. I'm hoping those hydrangeas will get big enough that I can see them through my bathroom window. But we'll see. But anyway, I got the hydrangeas in the back corner. So what I want to do is I want to create a flower bed that comes out around this way and goes all the way that way. And then goes around that corner. All the way, even, we've got to move the soccer goal all the way that way, all the way to behind the swing set, and all the way into that corner right there. That corner right there gets like almost zero sunlight. And what I want to do back there is I want to put a lot of different varieties of hostas and ferns, things that don't like a lot of sunlight. I thought that would be really pretty right there. We had to move the swing set. It used to be over here. You can see that's the two spots where the swings were, and that's where the big part of the swing set or something was. I can't remember what we had right there. I want to say we had the sandbox there or something, and it killed the grass, but it's slowly growing back. But anyway, like I said, don't judge the yard. We're you know, we're too busy doing other things to the house to be worried about the grass. So, but anyway, I'm thinking if I do something in that corner, I'll do hostas and ferns and maybe like a big concrete statue or something. But I'm gonna have flowers and plants all along this fence row. Let me quit pointing at it so it'll focus it. So anyway, but I've got to start. I've got, you know, I've got a couple things back here, and yes, I know the fence needs pressure washing, but you know, I'm a homeschool mom. I'm busy. I don't have time. No time for such things as cleaning. So anyway, let me take you to the other side of my yard and show you some of my other plants that I just planted. My bird feeders, that's what we saw. That's our homeschool room right there. And my husband hung up that hummingbird feeder for me just the other day. And me and Hannah were drawing owls on sticks. For some reason, she's obsessed with owls sitting on sticks. So anyway, I don't know what all that's about with her. But anyway, I have a Mexican heather here in a pot. and it seems to be doing okay. It's got a few leaves that are getting kind of yellow. I got to kind of figure out what's going on with that. I don't know if I'm overwatering, underwatering, or if it's getting too much sunlight right here. I might have to move it because the tag says partial sun. And I thought that this area was partial sun, but I may be wrong. And I've got some baby dahlias growing in there in that little seed starter tray. So we'll see how that does. Like I said, my yard is kind of a mess. This is my bird feeder, my other one. Okay, now this back here is one of my favorite little corners of my yard. All right, I have my daisies. Everybody calls them Gerber daisies, but it says Gerbera. That's what the tag said. So I don't know if you should pronounce it Gerbera or Gerber. How do you pronounce it? Tell me in the comments. Tell me what you do. That is a Brazilian plume plant that puts out a big bright pink bloom on it whenever it blooms out. It's still kind of a young plant, so it may not bloom this year. It might be next year before it blooms, but I'm hoping it blooms this year. That is a juniper. I don't know what type of juniper. I just know that it grows as a ground cover. So I planted it in the corner right there. And that is a Persian shield with another Persian shield on the side of it and a hosta in the middle. Here comes Chloe again. She can't stay away from me. So anyway, I was thinking, let me turn you guys this way. I was thinking what I might do in this area is do a small pond right there. Just like a tiny little pond, and put like a bunch of rocks all along the edge, all around the plants, so that, you know, this little thing can grow right up to next to the edge of a little pond. Just maybe something small, you know, something little. And yes, we do have something under construction on the side of the house. Please be nice. We're working on it. This is a work in progress. But anyway, tell me what y'all think. Tell me, should I put more flowers right there, or should I put a little pond there? I think a little pond would be nice there. But y'all tell me in the comments. All right, so I'm going to take you outside the fence and show you all of my flowers outside of the fence. Okay, now outside of the fence, we're going to start with this big guy. This is one of my favorites. My mom took me to a plant nursery, and she so graciously bought me a bunch of plants, and this just happened to be in my budget. So I just repotted it. I haven't planted it in the dirt yet. I'm not going to plant it in the dirt until maybe next year. But what I want to do, and please don't judge, I know how dirty this fence gate is. I know how dirty the whole fence is. Like I said, we just hardly ever have time to do any extra work around here. It's like keep up with laundry, keep up with dishes, and that's it. That's all we can do. But what I want to do is I want to get an arbor to go up over this fence right here, and let the wisteria, that's what that is, let my wisteria grow up and over the fence. I thought that would be really nice. And this grass was here when we moved here, and it has never done very well. It has some type of lily and purple heart growing in, mixed in with it, and I cannot seem to get it out. Like, no matter how many times I dig it up, it comes back. But this grass just doesn't do, it's just never done very well right here. And I'm not happy with the whole pine straw mulch idea. I know that a lot of you may be thinking, oh my gosh, you need to replace that. Well, let me tell you, where we live, we have so many pine trees in our yard that if I were to have any other kind of mulch, it would not work, because it would get covered in pine straw. If I tried rocks, we would have to use a leaf blower almost every day just to keep the rocks clean where you could see them. I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyway, going back to my plants. This is one of my Texas sage plants. I planted it right in front of this is our dining nook. It's a little bay window. But I planted that in front of the bay window because it'll get about 2 or 3 feet high and 2 or 3 feet wide. So I planted it by itself. And maybe I'll come back and add more plants later after it, you know, reaches its full maturity. I just kind of want to give it a shot and see how big it gets for me. And yes, I know I need to come out here and pull weeds. But anyway, yeah, so that's one of my Texas sage plants. This is one of my candy tuft plants that I planted about 2 years ago. They do okay in this area. I don't think they get very much sunlight. It's the problem with some other candy tuft. And this is a bush that was here when we moved here. And it never looks very happy, but like the root ball of it, you can see like the bottom of it is so huge. It would be so much work to get it out, and it's right next to like all of our electrical stuff. So I would be so scared to dig right there and get it out. Now this right here that Chloe is trying to rub all over is called sweetgrass, as you can see by my label. But this is, let me just sit here for a second and tell you about this plant. My daddy, I have had kind of a rough relationship with my dad growing up. Quit, Chloe, quit. He was a very strict father. Chloe, stop. He was not very easy on us as children, and it kind of led to some very hard feelings as an adult. But thankfully I have been able to go through some therapy, and medication has helped. I will be honest with you, medication has helped. But there has been a lot of forgiveness and love that has gone on between me and my dad. I'm actually getting, gosh, Chloe, quit. I'm actually getting pretty close to him now. Our relationship used to be pretty kind of just not really even there, if you know what I mean. And I'm sorry that I know the air conditioner just came on and it's loud, but anyway, long story short, my dad gave me this book called Braiding Sweetgrass, and it's a great book. You should read it. It talks a lot about the reciprocity of nature and humans and how we should work together with each other in a balance. She wants to rub all over this plant because it smells like vanilla. Anyway, I was out here pulling some weeds the other day, and it just hit me like a bolt of lightning that I actually have my own patch of sweetgrass. And that book, Braiding Sweetgrass, is something that is really, really important to me and my dad. It's something we talk about together a lot. It has brought us a lot closer together. It has opened up a lot of things in my mind. It's just been a great book, and knowing now that I have my very own sweetgrass growing in my yard has meant so, so much to me. Like, I sat here the other day almost in tears after I realized what this was. A friend of mine just gave it to me. I went to her house and I was admiring it. She said, "Oh, well, it's really easy. All you have to do is just pull it up and you can plant it, and it'll bloom." She said it might look like it's dying for a couple weeks, but it'll come right back. So she just yanked up a handful of it, and I said, "Well, what is it?" And she said, "You know what, Heather, I don't even know what it's called." And so I used my plant identifier app. It's called Picture This, and it told me that it was called sweetgrass, and it still just did not hit me until the other day when I was just out here doing my thing, being all nice and quiet, and I realized that I had some sweetgrass. So anyway, this is a very special, important plant to me now. I feel like it's kind of a tie between me and my dad. So anyway, that's my story on my sweetgrass. So anyway, I'm going to take you guys over to the other side of the yard and show you my peas and tomatoes. Okay, so I know this is an unconventional setup, but we have very sandy soil. Food does not do well here unless we amend it to the point that it's almost unrecognizable. So we have found it best, if we want to grow food, that we grow them in 5-gallon buckets. This is our second year growing food. Last year we had great success with things like cucumbers, cherry tomatoes. We had a little bit of corn. Most of it got washed away in a really, really bad rainstorm that we had. And what else did he grow? I can't remember. Oh, potatoes. Yeah, we grew potatoes, and they all did really, really well. But these are my tomato plants. The lady that I went and saw that gave me some of the plants that I've been showing you guys, she also gave me these 6 tomato plants. Just gave them to me. And I've never grown tomatoes before, so she was telling me about, you know, having to sucker them. So now I got to look that up to see what's a sucker so I can pick it off. But anyway, and these are white acre peas. Now these will grow up these cages like a trellis, just like most peas will. They need a guardrail to kind of vine up on. Oh, it's starting to rain. I hear it. Oh, that's going to be so nice for my flowers. But anyway, these are my white acre peas. Now, when I cook white acre peas, the way you do it is you put some in a pot with some water, obviously. You boil them down really good. Put half a stick of butter in, garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, and mix it with some rice. And oh, honey, it'll make you want to slap your mama. Not really, just in case my mama watches this. I would never slap you, Mom. But anyway, these are my peas, and I'm so very proud of them. They're doing so well. I planted about 6 peas per bucket, which was what the instructions said to do. So I still have a whole bag full of peas. They only sell them by half pound or pound, and I didn't need that many because this was an experiment. So I'll have a lot of peas to plant next year in case this does well. So anyway, those are my peas. And that's our compost pile out there. That is where I found that Indian shot plant that was out there. And if you'll look right here, this is something else that I'm looking at, that I'm kind of toying around with in my head. This grass right here is actually ornamental grass. It's not just a weed. I can't remember the name of it right off. It starts with an M. But I just looked it up on my plant identifier, and if it grows in the sun, then it blooms. And I thought, how pretty would that be to have along my fence row? Like in just some clumps here and there, you know? Like just to fill in some spots. I mean, I don't have to have flowers everywhere. You can have ornamental grasses in places too. It's growing over here too, but it's growing in amongst with some baby oak trees and things like that. So it would be a lot harder to dig it out from over here. But over here, it's growing by itself next to our pecan tree. And that is actually a mayhaw tree that my husband planted. I thought about moving the mayhaw tree inside the fence so that it would get some more tender love and care like it needs, so it would grow. But I'll have to ask him and see how he feels about that. But anyway, that's some ornamental grasses growing right there that I'm thinking about moving. I don't know. We'll see. I might dig some up and see how easy it is to move it. Or I might wait. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, so let's go to the front yard. Okay, so I said front yard. I lied. I meant side yard. This is right next to my sweetgrass right there. But this is the other side of the air conditioning unit. These are my daylilies that are doing good. They like this area, and you can see I just pulled out some of the dead grasses from. But I tried planting Wonder and Shew right here last year, and they are not spreading like they're supposed to. I think they're getting too much sun, because they seem to be happiest when I trim them and when I water them, like on a daily basis. But it is so hard to get out here on a daily basis and water them. But yeah, these are my daylilies. My mom gave me these. She had a whole entire fence row of daylilies that she wanted to get rid of because she just wanted to clean up the fence row. So she just dug them up and left them in the yard, and I went and picked them up, brought them home in trash bags, and planted them about 3 years ago, and they have been here ever since. And every year they bloom. It's crazy how you can just transplant a flower like that and it just grows up and blooms. Anyway, so this is my front flower bed right around my garage, across the driveway. This is my begonia. I just deadheaded it this morning, so we're waiting on these blooms, these blooms, these blooms, and these are doing their thing today. So, but yeah, this is about twice the size it was when I bought it. I actually bought it at Walmart. I don't buy a whole lot of plants at Walmart. I don't have a whole lot of luck with plants from Walmart, but I couldn't help myself. Red is my favorite color. So anyway, and these are my giant crinum lilies. These were actually all in the backyard in that spot where I said that I'm thinking about putting a small pond, and they were not doing well. They never bloomed. So I moved them to the side of the house where the bay window was, and they grew big, but they still never bloomed. So I moved them again to this spot right here. And guys, you cannot kill giant crinum lilies. You cannot kill them. You can dig them up and move them as many times as you want, and they will come back. And I will tell you, in the wintertime, I trim these things down to the ground, and they always come back like this. I mean, it's crazy how big they get, but they have the hugest, tallest blooms. Like, they'll be at like waist high and hot pink too. They'll be so pretty. And at the end of my driveway down there on both sides, I have 2 tiny lantana plants that I'm waiting for them to grow. I bought them small because I know lantana gets really, really big. This is some of my lavender. I have more lavender, but this is some of my lavender. I thought I'd try one in the ground and one in a pot to see which fares better, but I got this from Tractor Supply, and it did not have any blooms on it at all when I bought it. It was just little buds getting ready to bloom, so it has bloomed since I bought it. But I've read that pollinators love lavender, so I wanted lavender in my garden. And this is another Texas sage that my daddy got me. He got me that one at the same time he got me the other Texas sage. And this is a chrysanthemum. This is or mum for short. I got more there, and right there. But these I got in pots in the fall time when you decorate your porch for fall and you put pumpkins all around it, make a really pretty fall display. What I do with them is after they start to die back in the wintertime, I cut them all the way down to the bottom, and then I put pine straw over the top of the pot to cover it up and overwinter them. And then in the springtime, I will plant them in my flower bed. And I have had this mum right here for about 2 or 3 years now. And these smaller mums back here, I've had about 2 years. So, and these little patches of green right here and right there are asters. Those will get really tall and they'll get really pretty purple little plants on them. This right here is called, I'll get closer so you can see it. This right here is called Autumn Joy Sedum. It blooms in the spring and the fall, and the blooms are like a pinkish white. And you'll notice it needs a little bit of water right now. The leaves are getting a little curly on me. But the leaves will curl up during the day, and then at night they'll just open right back up. It's just the sun, but it thrives in full sun. But it likes a lot of water too, so I have to make sure I keep it good and watered so it's happy. And that, it looks like a weed, but it's not. That is zinnia seeds. There, that tiny one right there, and that one. Those are my zinnias. Let me not step on my asters over here. This is my sweet alyssum. This has bloomed. I planted them from seed, and they have bloomed and bloomed and bloomed. They have not stopped blooming. Even over the winter time, they have bloomed. And I planted them right here in this patch. I know they look funny in this patch, but I planted them right next to my tea rose because I read that they keep aphids away. And ever since these have bloomed, and see, they kind of spread. They spread on their own. Ever since I planted them, I have not had any problems with aphids on my roses. So if you have a problem with aphids on your roses, consider planting sweet alyssum. And it's so easy to grow them from seed too. And they're so easy to take care of. I hardly ever water them. They're about a year old now. I hardly ever water them. I hardly ever pay any attention to them at all. I don't fertilize them. They just grow. They do really well. They do really well in the hot summer sun. They do really well in the cold winter. I mean, they just do amazing. This is my bird bath that a friend gave to me. It's so cute. It's got little bunnies on the front. I love little bunnies. And this is a lantana that my daughter Hannah picked out because it was pink, and she said she needed it because it was pink. And you can see it's got some new little growth on it, and I put it in this area right here where it can have room to spread, because I bought a lantana I think it was sometime last year, and it got so big that it almost killed that really big mum that I just showed you because it was overshadowing that mum. So, and yes, I know I need to coil up my hose. I was busy this morning. Had to hurry up. That's my foxtail fern. It's got a new frond on it right there. You can see that. And that's some more of that grass growing right next to it. It just kind of popped up there, so I've just left it there and let it do its thing. And this is my aloe plant. Somebody gave it to me, and I put it in a pot and left it there and have not done anything at all to it, and it has blossomed and thrived. I mean, it's 3 times the size it was last year. Like literally, it is. I don't do anything at all to it. It just grows. It just stays alive. And I pulled out one of the baby ones. Let's see if I can show you. I pulled out one of the baby ones just in case a friend might want one, and I left it out in the sun, and I think it got sunburned. You can see the little brown spots on it. Aloe can actually get sunburned. Did you know that? It can. It doesn't like full sun all day long. You would think that it would like full sun all day long, but it doesn't. It prefers some shade during the day so it doesn't get sunburned. But there are more little babies that I can pull out and repot and share with friends if they're interested. But anyway, that's my aloe. I can hear my dog whining. She's following me around all the rooms in the house that she can hear me at. And we'll come around here. And I put this rock border up in front of my flower bed. I did that myself. That's why it's uneven. At first I was using a level and, you know, trying to make everything nice and neat. And then I got sick of that and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just eyeball it. And that's what I did. So anyway, and then I started with the black edging all along in there. Now, this is more lavender. This is the one that I put in the dirt that I'm trying to see how it's doing. And not only has it bloomed, but it has more new baby blooms on it. So I think it's pretty happy over here in this spot. I know it's in shade right now and lavender loves the sun, but here in just about maybe another hour, the sun will come out from behind that tree that's behind me and it will shine on this thing for the rest of the day. So it gets like midday sun and then late afternoon sun. So we'll see how it does right here in this little corner. I've been watching this spot for a long time to see how much sun it gets, and I think the lavender will do okay right here. If it doesn't, you know, that's okay. I'll just plant something else there. No big deal. Gardening is supposed to be fun, not stressful, right? This is a blue salvia. Victoria blue salvia, actually. I'll get a little closer so you can see the little bloom on it. But I planted those all down the row. There's one there, all the way down there. All the way to the end, to right there. There's 6 of them. And the reason I place them so far apart is these things will get about 2 to 3 feet wide. And what I was thinking I could do is if they, after I give them like maybe a couple years to see how big they get, I can plant things in between them or kind of behind them to see how they do. Maybe smaller flowers, like maybe some annuals or something, some smaller annuals, like right like from here to the garden edge border right there. So I thought that might be something that I might do, but we'll see. We'll give these guys a couple years and see how they do. So anyway, all in all, I'm happy with them. I think they're pretty nice. These came from the same lady that gave me the cactus and the sweetgrass and all that kind of stuff. She gave me so many plants that day, you guys. That is something. I had the best day at her house. The kids got to ride the 4-wheeler and see baby goats and ducklings and baby chicks, and got to eat ice cream and just run around and have fun. And anyway, it was a great day. But she gave me, I got a 6-pack of these for $3. And these are perennials. They will come back every year, so I don't have to replant them. I just have to make sure I keep them watered real good this first year. And they like partial sun, so I think they'll do good here, because for some reason the sun kind of stops right here. I guess it's because of the trees back there. So like I said, that lavender will get more sun this afternoon, but all of this salvia, all this row down here will get dappled sunlight for the rest of the day. So I think that'll be a really good thing, because in these brutal hot summers we have here, I think they'll do really well. So anyway, that is it. That's all my flowers. So I really hoped you enjoyed seeing all of my plants. I love showing them off. I love being a plant mom. I know everything still needs a whole lot of work. There's a gnat trying to get like right in my face. He will not go away. But I love gardening. It's like a form of therapy for me. It's just something about getting your hands in the dirt, getting them dirty, seeing things grow, watching them bloom, watching them do well. You know, and there's even still some plants that I have that I haven't showed you just because of where they're located. It would just be like a little 30-second clip just to get there and show you. But I do have a Buddhist palm in a pot, and I have some succulents in a pot. I can't remember the name of the type of succulent that it is, but it's really, really pretty. But anyway, I just wanted to share my garden with you guys. Leave anything in the comments if you have any suggestions. I'm in planting zone 8. If you have any suggestions for what I can do around my fence line, it gets partial shade. It is not full sun. There are some spots here and there, like where I put my tea roses, that get a lot more sun than the rest of the yard does. Where the shrimp tree is, that gets plenty of sun. It's odd because it all depends on the way the trees on the side yard are spaced. And then I have 2 big trees in my yard, in my backyard, a pecan tree and a pine tree that's right at my patio that makes a lot of shade too. So it's kind of a challenge to find pretty perennials that will come back every year and bloom really well without a whole lot of sun. So anyway, if y'all have any suggestions, comments, ideas, or even if you just enjoyed this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, come back and see me for more. I know this wasn't a homeschool type video, but I had the time. All the kids went with my mom this afternoon. Woo! So I'm just out here enjoying my plants and enjoying the weather before it gets too hot and humid for me to be out here. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I love you all. Bye.